right, and we're back for another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glasser, come right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, and Lakerholics.com. We truly appreciate everyone out there listening to all of our shows. And if you can, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Plus, if you can like, share, subscribe, follow, or do anything that you can to support us right here at the Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, Inside Sports Fantasy Football, Game Source, Lakerholics.com, and also the great guys at the Hoopheads Podcast Network. Stop by and check out all the great NBA podcasts that they have today at hoopheadspod.com. And if you do support any of these great causes, including ours, it is sincerely appreciated. With the Lakers heading into Minnesota this evening, they got word over the course of the past 48 hours. It's been like a roller coaster of who's in protocols, who's out of protocols, who's in protocols, who's out protocols. We had several times where we didn't know exactly who was going in, who was going out. I could tell you right now, I could have bet money that Austin Reeves, after his winning shot and everybody celebrated around him and dumped all their liquids on him, you knew he was going to end up on the health and safety.
The super spreader, man. I mean,
exactly.
The game shot turned into a super spreader.
You knew that was going to happen. I said it then. You knew that was going to happen. But, of course, just before game time, he goes into protocol. So let me give everybody a list right now of who's in the health and safety protocol for the Los Angeles Lakers. And that is right now Malik Monk, who was out, who was in,
but could fly,
and out, and back in health and safety protocols, because we thought he was actually coming out of health and safety protocols, but he actually tested back into it, alongside Dwight Howard, THT, Avery Bradley, and even though he's injured, Kendrick Nunn. And, of course, Austin Reeves as well. So that left the Lakers with only 10 available players, including recent call-up Isaiah Thomas. Remember him? He scored 40 points the other night in
42.
South Dakota. 42, yes,
Don't
in South Dakota for Grand Rapids, right there for you. And he had that one G League game, and he got the call-up already, as many players are being called up and being brought back because the NBA is expanding its NBA hardship rule right now and allowing these teams to bring in these guys on a hardship. And thank goodness the NBA doing something that you should have done all along with these hardship exception rules and not counted against the tax. So that's greatly appreciated right there. So we'll see how this is going to be affected, because the league wants to continue these games. So they are going to allow all these two-way players to come up, all these G League players to come up, all these guys that are out there in free agency to come up. You're going to see people that you don't normally see playing for these teams. And that's, I guess, a good thing, because at least we're getting basketball. But tonight, the Lakers, with Russell Westbrook coming out of protocol and actually being made available just before the game, lined up with his, obviously the other big three as they headed up against Minnesota. But unfortunately, it seemed like the whole team tonight had a bout of COVID, as the listless and sick performance. I mean, I think the whole team should be tested right now, because I think they all are positive after a performance like that. It's truly a terrible performance. And on top of that, adding insult to injury, or injury to insult in this case, right. AD hurt himself not once, but twice during the game with a more serious knee injury. And it's just when the Lakers had their only run of the game, when they were coming down, they were only behind 3. He gets it. He turns his knee, just gets bumped into another Minnesota player, falls down, hurts his knee, tried to go back to the locker room, but collapsed there. He's going to be actually tested in Chicago with his knee contusion. So we'll see if that's anything more serious. Plus, he rolled his ankle earlier in the game, so we don't know about AD's status going forward, but we'll wait and see. And, of course, we'll report it right here for you at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. But the Lakers, LeBron, Russell, just the whole entire team looked really listless tonight. And when your big performer is G League superstar after one game, Isaiah Thomas, that tells you exactly where the game went, as the Minnesota Timberwolves dominated on the offensive boards, 15 offensive rebounds to 1, and just breezed after that small third quarter run and just pulled away from the Lakers with ease, 110-92, off a great performance from Karl Anthony Towns with 28 points and a well-rounded support from the Minnesota Timberwolves team. Very spirited. They just hustled. They just wanted this game more. You could tell the Lakers just had no life in their step. LeBron just seemed to be sleepwalking through most of the game, and so do the rest of the Lakers. But here today to talk about this performance, and I'm not going to be too hard on them like I normally would be because of the circumstances that are going on. And I am really fearful that the team is actually not 100% healthy, the ones that are actually playing on the court. So I'm very worried about that. But here today, talk about the game as a good man indeed. He's upset that Joe Soro keeps on getting the games that the Lakers do win. But he's a good man indeed. It is the mastermind behind LakerHolics.com. You got to go ahead and check out all the great articles that he does, all the great articles that Jamie Sweet does with his 5 things, and all the great comments and all the great people that are part of LakerHolics.com. It is LakerTom. And LakerTom, again, I don't want to be too hard on the Lakers today because of the certain circumstances, but with the big 3 there, and they were starting, and they were playing, you got to go ahead and take games like these, especially if on the other side, Anthony Edwards is out with health and safety protocols.
Yeah, I think you're going through a lot of different things right now, and it's going to be a strange season.
Tell me about it.
The last 2 seasons were strange. This is going to be the 3rd COVID strange season, COVID 3.0. And it's, everybody's slowly going. I mean, I listened to you and Joe the other night, and I do agree with Joe that something weird is going on, and I've always felt that it's sort of like the start of the turning of the guard, changing of the guard. You've seen teams like Minnesota all of a sudden starting to put it together. The Chicago Bulls all of a sudden starting to put it together.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
The Memphis Grizzlies, I was just on the tip of my tongue, starting to put it together. And you're seeing, Father Time starting to affect LeBron James and Anthony Davis having trouble now proving that a top 10 talent can be a top 10 player.
Got dominated tonight, even before he got hurt.
And
by a fellow Kentucky Wildcat.
All of these things going on, and the one thing that you can tell for sure is that COVID is going crazy.
Yeah.
And fears, frankly, of a Omicron and Delta combination variant could really put us into a permanent situation where COVID becomes the more lethal version of the annual flu that we've been struggling with for years.
Yeah.
At any rate, what's going to happen is that we're in a total chaotic situation. I mean, Darius Soriano wrote an article that I thought was just brilliant. Informed Blue and Gold, which basically says that this is the best environment for this particular Lakers team. They're used to total chaos. They're used to the lineups being screwed up. They're used to LeBron, AD, and Russ having to, struggle to figure out what's going on. And with people going in and out of the lineups on every team, and the league now endorsing the replacement player option, that sign as many guys as you need, but make sure you got 8 of them that show up on the court so we can play the games and not postpone this series.
LakerTom, gear up, man. Gear up, LakerTom. Get your gear. I think that might be a team call on you right now on the phone.
Really, it's like who has the best G League team and the best set of replacements lined up could end up winning this championship. And here's the thing that's really crazy about it, that while we probably won't have a suspension like we did before, which fortunately gave LeBron and AD 4 months off to get perfectly healthy for the playoffs, what we will have is a chaotic situation where even teams that are, quote, have the continuity like Phoenix and like, those teams are going to have their struggles too, because all of a sudden crazy lineups and players being out is going to become the norm.
Let me ask you this. It was mentioned right around the 15th. I know everybody was talking about the players becoming eligible for the trades and things of that nature, a majority of the players anyways. One thing that was suggested, which I thought was really good, was around the 15th, giving the players 10 days off and having it restart again on Christmas. I thought that would have been a good idea. It doesn't disrupt the schedule too much. You can really fill in the blanks on the rest of the
And the
schedule the
league
rest of the way.
basically kicked it out and said that's
Yeah.
not at all in consideration.
I
I thought it was, Mongo on the Lakers fast break and Lakerholics.com had suggested a couple of weeks off because we could easily accommodate a 2-week adjustment in the schedule
we can.
for next season. And here's the problem. The problem is that we have accepted a new normal because of the unvaccinated. That the new normal is that, yeah, after 90 days, especially if you don't get booster shots, especially if you only just got COVID and you didn't get vaccinated, you can get infected again. So all of these people are getting infected right now. All of these players are getting infected now can get infected again before the playoffs very easily because Omicron is 20 times as contagious as the normal situation.
And speaking of unvaccinated, you've got Kyrie Irving ready to come back.
How about the idiocy of that? We're in the middle of a pandemic and you send an unvaccinated guy into all of the other arenas.
You're not going to send him to Brooklyn because he still can't play there.
Be serious, it's ridiculous. It's going to end up being a situation where, just like in the last 2 seasons, there are going to be a lot of teams who are more talented who are basically going to be eliminated from competition simply because their key players got COVID or whatever. And it's going to be a screwed up situation where for years people will associate it with the previous 2 seasons as COVID asterisk seasons. And that's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's also something that could be advantageous for the Lakers because what it does is it limits and diminishes the accomplishment of a team like the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors, who have continuity and run through the season and really play well, because it's going to eventually, for them as well as all the other 30 clubs in the NBA, it's going to affect them. It's going to destroy that continuity and put them into lineup craziness, into the chaos, the COVID chaos that the rest of the league is now undergoing, and that all of us in society are going to undergo. I mean, I looked at the same situation. I just looked the other day. I counted the number of people in my bubble, if you will, people that I trust that I would wear a mask without, that I would not wear a mask with. I thought it would be like 3 or 4 people, but by the time I finished, I was like 7 or 8, 9 people,
Same here.
And then I look at my wife, who's out every day with a neighbor's dog, in the dog park and talking to people and so forth, and and shopping and so forth. And you end up with looking at it 15, 20 people. What are the odds that those 15 and 20 people, not one of them is going to be infected by Omicron? It's pretty small.
Yep.
And they can get infected again after 3 months because generally they're finding out that immunity from having had COVID is only going to last 90 days.
The only way that they're saying, just to let you know, is if you're boosted after 3, so mainly if you got 3 shots and then you get, a case
another boost
of
when
COVID,
the time comes up to do it.
You'll be.
How much do you want to bet that every single player? I'll bet you that 90% of the players in the NBA who tested positive had not been boosted.
Oh yeah, well most of them got the J&J. Most of them got the J&J.
Yeah, right. Which is
part of
basically now contributed to be considered to be almost worthless in comparison. If you get a boost of the J&J with the J&J shot, you're 4 times more protected. If you get a Pfizer boost on a J&J shot, you're like 70 times protected.
And then again, if you get with Pfizer or Moderna and you've done the first 2 shots, you get the booster, and you unfortunately get a breakthrough. After that, you are super protected, is what they're calling it now. Which again, I do not condone anybody getting COVID. Please don't try COVID at home. It's not really fun, from what I hear. I certainly don't want it. I know LakerTom doesn't want it, but again, we're trying to protect ourselves the best we can. We hope everybody stays safe out there. please, it's something that's very serious. If you got it, you can just do what you can to protect yourself and your family and your loved ones, and just basically do what you can to be safe and protective out there. But I know, my friend, this is very troubling times in the league. Again, I think 2 weeks off would do it. I know they can't do it now because the vaunted Christmas games.
They're pretty well committed to this replacement player theory, and
so LakerTom, get ready for more Jay Huff. Get ready for more Jay Huff and DeAndre Brown. Chandre Brown.
One thing it does do is it gives job security to Frank Vogel all of a sudden, because with this chaos going on, who knows how long it's going to last, and also it does shuffle things up, and it's a disadvantage definitely for the teams like the Suns and the Warriors, who've gotten off to great starts. They're going to see, it's going to change the whole landscape. We're going to be in another one of those kamikaze type of situations, just like the last two seasons, where the champion is going to be the team that ends up having the least number of injuries and the easiest route to the championship.
Let me ask you this. How many days is it going to be before people are asking to waive Kent Bazemore and keep Isaiah Thomas on the team?
I take a look at a guy like
James Ennis was the one.
I take a look at a guy like Campaign on the Suns.
Yeah.
And what he does for the Suns' continuity through the season, through the game and through the season, by having a second point guard who can actually win those minutes when he's on the floor. And I think that Isaiah Thomas theoretically could be that player for the Lakers. Now, I hate small point guards. I hate small guards, period.
And you saw it tonight on defense.
And I saw it tonight on defense. Although he made a couple of spirited plays that I thought were pretty good.
I'm just saying, when he goes to challenge the ball, these players are just not even seeing him.
Yeah. But listen, there's not a better coach in the league than Frank Vogel in being able to figure out how to hide guys and so forth, and how to compensate for that. And it really comes down to the point that if your plus minus can work out, and basically who had the best plus minus of all of the guys on the Lakers tonight.
So let me ask you
Isaiah
this.
Thomas.
So let me ask you this, LakerTom.
It's the net rating. It's not the defensive rating, Frank Vogel.
But let me
determines who you should be playing.
But let me ask you this. Did you have some trepidation or grit your teeth when they fielded a backcourt out there of Rajon Rondo, Russell Westbrook, and
Russell,
Isaiah Thomas there?
How can you blame Frank? I mean, Jesus.
No, not tonight.
It's just the situation. You know what? You know what you do with this game? It's just one game.
Yeah, this is your
and frankly, the whole season is going to turn into a whole bunch of these just one games.
I agree with you tonight. It is just one game.
So stupid. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, again, the Lakers come out there with their big three. You think that's going to be enough to take a game, especially
really also because they don't have Ant-Man on top of it.
And you thought it was good. You thought it was going to be all good, but no.
Man, this is the NBA, and
effort is a big part of it.
Give Joe credit, because I think Joe was right in a sense that this is a weird season, and weird stuff is happening, man.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
There is no new normal yet. We don't know what the normal is going to look like yet. We're getting glimpses and hints, but we really don't have any idea how this is going to all come out when it finishes. One thing I do like is the fact that if we've got to deal with a chaotic situation with all of these variations of all of the stuff that's happening, and combine the new rules changes, a changing of the guard as far as the teams going, young players becoming of age, and old players maybe showing their time. The one thing that I have a lot of confidence in is the ability of LeBron James to make the adjustments necessary to win games in that scenario. And if we are going to be in a chaotic situation, I think that's more to the Lakers' advantage than it is to the Suns' advantage or the Warriors' advantage. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. But it's definitely we have not seen the depths of this season, nor have we seen the heights of this season.
But one thing I want to say on a night like tonight, again, with the Lakers having their big three there and the Timberwolves not having their entire three, their big three, is the fact that effort wins games on days like these. And today, the effort by Minnesota was tremendous, and the effort by the Lakers was absolutely horrid. And you saw
Minnesota, like Memphis,
yeah,
is a team that is much better than their record and their resume says at this point in time.
Well, they did hustle.
Both teams on the rise.
Well, they did hustle out there again. The Lakers 38% from the field, 27% from 3 points. Again, they got out rebounded.
If you don't have AD and Dwight, you definitely have a weakness against Cat.
Yeah. So 15-1 on the offensive boards. I mean, really, the effort was not there by the team. You could see it. They were sleepwalking through much of the game. Had one run in the third period, and then that as soon as AD went down to the knee injury, it just sucked the life out of the team, whatever life was left. And again, Minnesota pulls away to a 110-92 victory. Minnesota goes to 14-15. The Lakers are now, again, still in sixth place in the Western Conference, but they're down to 16-14, and they have Dallas and Denver just nipping at their heels right behind them in the Western Conference. So if you have questions for us.
What's the biggest reason, Gerald, in your mind? Why are we in this situation?
Part of it was the fact that it was the Russell Westbrook trade. I think it messed a whole lot of things up. The continuity, the defensive side of the ball.
No doubt about that. I think you're absolutely right that the Russell Westbrook changed the whole dynamics of everything. But what about the Russell Westbrook trade has not worked out in your mind?
The fact that defensively he's horrible. Offensively, he's like a mixed bag. You see, you and I argue one day, each and every time out. You talk about the good he does. I see a lot of the bad that he does. The plays that just leave you just like exasperated, just like who's he passing the ball to? Why is he taking that shot that just hit the bottom side of the backboard? Why is he, the one that he almost broke the backboard?
Yeah, I know, but if you look at a game like
why did he turn the ball over 7 times?
Well, the game was still in contention. LeBron had 8 points.
Yeah,
and AD, despite getting injured, was playing horribly. He was being posted up by Cat and taken advantage of like I've never seen.
That Kentucky Wildcat matchup was
so the whole thing which strikes me is that I don't know whether this is LeBron coasting, which he does.
And he did tonight.
LeBron showing some age, which he has.
And he did tonight.
Or AD not having the ability to take that game to the next level that we thought 2 years ago was a sure thing, that by 21-22, the season that we're in right now, that LeBron wouldn't be the player that we had to count on more than anybody else, that by then it would be Anthony Davis. So when I look at the situations and I think about the Russell Westbrook trade, if AD was playing like the AD that we expected, I don't think we'd be in the same situation. See, I blame it more on AD than I do on Russ. I guess I'm saying, and I do sense that's unfair. I mean, I thought, for example, in the second half of the last game that Anthony did one of his best rebounding games I've seen all year. He got rebounds in heavy traffic, protected them well, and it was a key to winning that game. It's become a real weakness to us, which is strange because we have what are typically very good rebounding guards that should be, and plus LeBron and AD, and you got rebounding guards, and you got Dwight, and well, we don't have Dwight, and we don't have Andre that used to rebound.
Yeah,
but it's a perplexing season, and it's like one of those situations where you fly an airplane into the sky and all of a sudden you're in a different universe than you thought you were going to be in. And that's what's happened with the Lakers. Part of it is their decline, the decline of their 3 superstars. Although I don't think Russ has really declined. I think Russ has played really well. He's played better than he has last year, frankly, as far as shot selection and.
I would beg to differ on that.
3-point percentage. So it's debatable. It's debatable, but
Okay.
considering the position he's put in, I thought he's done a remarkable job. And LeBron, considering that he has lost something to Father Time, I mean, I looked at those photos of that block that he made and compared them to the block that he made 8 years ago. About the same exact play at the same exact height, within hitting his head on the backboard in both situations. It's not every play, though. That's the thing, man. It's not every play, and so it comes down to me still that this season swings, how we finish and how we will win will depend on Anthony Davis, and to a certain extent, you can say that the future of the Los Angeles Lakers, because he is the man who is going to take over after LeBron James retires, depends upon whether Anthony Davis is really a top 5 player or just a top 10 talent who can't
or won't
meet his resume. Can't or won't.
Just doesn't have the drive in him.
You know, I mean,
stuff.
All this stuff about I want to play the 4, or I want to play the 4, or I want to play the 3 now. There's something about that is, you know, that I mean, I'm not an old school. I'm more of a new school guy than an old school guy, but I can see a lot of the old school guys complaining and saying, man, you know, I play whatever position will help the team win. Isn't that what she's supposed to do? Isn't that what the game is all about? I guess not.
Well, with Anthony Davis, again, it's been inferred to in the past few days. I think it's probably the best way to say it is that top 10 talent, like you're saying, but the drive, the motor, it's not top 10. It's not even top 100. And I think that's part of the problem for him this season. Yeah. You got it once in the bubble at the right time, in the right place. And of course, it led to a championship.
If we have to go back in the bubble, I'm all for it.
Yes, you and I both indeed. But it is
whatever you do just to get AD back. That's what we need.
But it is LakerTom. You got to go ahead and check him out today at LakerHolics.com, including his latest article on 10 reasons why the Lakers should trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons. I am all for it. And in fact, I put a comment on there supporting you at LakerHolics.com. So
Thank
please
you, Gerald.
Go ahead. Yes. And again, just right there for you. Again, just, anybody who has any questions, they can go ahead and check it out at LakerHolics.com. Be part of the conversation today at LakerHolics.com. Also, check out at LakerTom on Twitter. He's Trader Tom. It's around the corner. He's going to go ahead and start those crazy trade requests, those crazy trade proposals. They're around the corner. You wait and see.
I have 5. I have 5 trades. Involving Russell Westbrook and Talen Horton-Tucker.
Well, there you go. Maybe that'll get something back indeed. But it is
like a sweetener with the triple-double king.
But it is like
what could you get for that? What could you get for those two?
Don't ask me. You probably don't want to hear the answer that I'd like to say right now. But again, it is LakerTom. You got to go ahead and check it out at LakerHolics.com. Be part of the conversation today at LakerHolics.com. You can also find them at LakerTom. We're at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter or Lakers Fast Break at Yahoo.com. Well, once again, the Lakers, I think, all need to be tested right now for the coronavirus because they played through a very sick game. And I'm not talking about the good kind of sick because they seemed all very unwell outside of Isaiah Thomas, who really wants to be there.
He's probably got it by now, I mean.
Yeah, but he wants to stay in the league.
The Austin Reeves super spreader.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. The Lakers did sleepwalk through a 110-92 loss to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We will be back maybe on Sunday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, because the game has been moved back against Chicago. Just to let everybody know before we head on out, Dave McMenamin, the Lakers reporter for ESPN, said a source familiar with Anthony Davis and his left knee injury, he told ESPN so far all is in good structure, but they want to take another image and they will do so in Chicago. So we're going to be holding our breath, keeping our fingers crossed for AD, hoping everything is going to be okay because he wants to play in Chicago in front of the hometown fans. Maybe that will spice things up for him. We'll wait and see, but it is the Lakers tenuously playing right now at 5 p.m. on Sunday although that's going to change. Tune into our Twitter at Lakers Fast Break, because as soon as the updates go out on who does or does not, or if they come in or out of health and safety protocols, we report it right there for you at Lakers Fast Break on Twitter. And of course, Lakerholics.com. But once again, the Lakers, unfortunately, just didn't have it today. And hopefully they will get it back on this 3-game road trip, a 110-92 loss at Minnesota. We may be back. You notice I didn't say we will be back, but we may be back on Sunday night after the Chicago game. We're hoping that a game will be played, but we'll see, because Chicago's had its own issues with COVID. So we'll see. Please, everyone out there, I know you're going out this weekend doing last-minute shopping, going ahead and checking out Spider-Man, which is breaking all the records for the pandemic.
Get boosted.
Just be safe. Please, if you can, consider getting vaccinated and getting boosted. It's some dangerous stuff out there. Please, we just want you to be safe and be healthy. And hopefully we will see you Sunday night right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.